Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hacker AJ Raven with this week's recap review of The Alienist season number 1, episode number 6, which is Ascension. And this episode picks up right where we left things off in the previous episode, where Chrysler finds out that the killer is killing people or young prostitutes on the holy days that are mentioned in the Holy Bible. And this episode, one of the things that I want to mention about this episode is how it opens. The cold open had this white, beautiful horse with a long mane, like just dead on the street, where little underprivileged kids kind of moving moving past it, and one of the kids goes out to reach the horse's mane. I don't know what the show was trying to depict. Maybe it hinted at being rich, dying in an underprivileged area because of how young Wen version was murdered in this episode. But yeah, it regardless of what the actual message was, I really liked the whole cold open. So moving on, we got to see the Team Alienist make up plans to capture the killer. Chrysler still has his doubts that young William, young Wen version, whether or not young Wen version is the killer. According, as far as Chrysler is concerned, William is not the murderer, and they are supposed to be looking for someone else. So anyway, the sting operation that they do, it involves Stevie in drag, and yeah, so okay, so I did enjoy this episode, but a lot of things happened that made me kind of laugh and then made me feel frustrated because the mistakes that Team Alienist made in this episode could have been not be made very easily. So they allowed the killer to escape their grasp 2 times. Now, in first they had Stevie stand out in the outside on the street, and his cover is blown when some young kid who knows Stevie comes up to him and says like, Stevie, what are you doing here? Why are you in a dress? And the killer sees all of that commotion and he goes back. Now, 9 days later, they do another sting operation, but this time inside a brothel. And even then, even when Stevie has John and Marcus looking after him, those two, Marcus and John, end up being distracted by the young prostitutes over there. And Stevie ends up interacting with the killer, but no one comes to rescue him. And when John and Marcus do figure out that something is wrong, the killer ends up running, and there's a whole cat and mouse chase scene. And in the end, the killer has killed or murdered another young boy. And I'm like, Team Alienist, you need to stop bumbling because I can't root for a bumbling team. So I really, really hope that with only 4 episodes left, Team Alienist steps up their game because if you look at how things are moving right now, Team Alienist might end up capturing the killer by accident because that's what the script demanded, and that's just poor writing. So talking about when versions dead, we see that Connor didn't take being fired very gracefully, I guess. And Connor knows that it's William Wen version who is the murderer, or at least the suspect. So he goes after William Wen version. I keep calling him Willem and William, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to call him Young Wen version. So Connor goes after Young Wen version because Wen version get comes out of his hideout, even though he was advised not to do that. But anyway, they Connor, another some person who's I guess Connor's friend, and young Wen version go up the bridge that's still under construction, and Connor just straight up shoots Wen version right in the forehead, and then he throws his body into the. I guess that's what is that? What is that? That's the sea. Yeah, that's the sea, right? The ocean, the sea. So he throws his body into the water, and yeah, Van Bergen's body is going to pop up sooner or later. And I am really interested to see what's going to happen to the city and the police department and Team Alienist when Van Bergen's body is found. Because according to autopsy or whatever, if they take out the bullet, I guess Connor used the same gun that Roosevelt gave the police department, so they can kind of link together how someone from the police department ended up killing Van Bergen. or I'm not sure yet because I'm not sure if Connor gave away his gun to Roosevelt when he was fired. But yeah, we'll find out soon. Now, character development is one of the reasons that I really enjoy watching The Alienist. So John is a softie. He has given up drinking, at least for now, and I am happy for him. But I really, really hope that if and when Sarah rejects him, I said it's an if. I don't want John to feel so bad about it that he ends up drinking again, and this time it's more serious than it previously was. So I don't want to see that. I also enjoyed his scene with the little prostitute inside the little cafe where he was eating egg foam or chocolate egg foam or whatever. That was a good scene. So coming to Sarah. Now Sarah had a lot to do in this episode. Not this episode proves that Sarah is curious by nature and she has some good saluting skills. And yeah, I can understand how Sarah's feelings towards Chrysler can kind of come across as infatuation to some viewers, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just coming across as curiosity, as if Sarah wants to dig deeper into Chrysler past and go, aha, I found what you have been hiding from me. I guess that's what Sarah is doing. She sees Chrysler as a subject of her curiosity, and that was also shown in this episode when she ends up investigating into Chrysler past. Now Chrysler has told everyone that he was crippled from birth. However, Sarah found an old article in a society paper that had written that young Master Chrysler is able to play the piano. Now the tune that young Master Chrysler played, you can't play that with only one hand. So that's what led Sarah to kind of theorize that something happened when Chrysler was young, and that's how he ended up being crippled. Now, Sarah prying into Chrysler past was so infuriating for Chrysler that he outright slapped Sarah right in the face, and that was a very shocking scene for me. It came as a shock when I was watching this show, but yeah, I enjoyed that scene, and I'm really interested to see how their relationship goes. Where their relationship goes next. I'm not sure if Chrysler will apologize to Sarah, but I can see Sarah digging and digging and digging and trying to uncover all of Chrysler's secrets because she wants him to face his demons. So yeah, what else am I missing? Not much, right? But yes, I also liked the scene where after they let the killer escape during their first sting operation, and Chrysler started having doubts about his own method, about his own theory that the killer is killing on the holy days in the Christian calendar, Sarah Sarah was the one who planned the next sting operation without any help from Chrysler. And she took the reins in her hand, and she was like, no, we are doing this and you are going to come with me. And yeah, so that was a good scene, that Sarah did what she thought was right. So yeah, I also did a review of this for the Geek Theory. The link to that will be down in the comment section below when the review goes up on the website. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Who do you think is the killer? Because in this episode we didn't. They only showed a shadowy figure. We don't know. I'm not sure if we have seen that person before. And also, coming back to Team Alienist's plan, it was revealed in episode 4 that that the killer knows who all of these people are when he sent them the letter and he asked them to meet at the pub. So yeah, I'm not sure how Team Alienist thought that having John and Marcus inside the brothel where they're trying to capture the killer was a good idea when the killer is familiar with all of the members of Team Alienist. So that didn't make any sense to me. Anyway, the relationship between Mary and Chrysler is getting weirder, and I'm enjoying that as well. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later.